Thank you for tuning in to the Brach Eichler Talks podcast, where we explore and discuss today's trending legal topics. In this episode, we'll discuss the recent HIPAA Corner from Brach Eichler's April HLU newsletter. Article title, HIPAA Privacy Rule to Support Reproductive Healthcare Privacy, Final Rule. On April 22, 2024, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Office for Civil Rights, OCR, announced a final rule titled HIPAA Privacy Rule to Support Reproductive Healthcare Privacy, Final Rule. The rule will become effective 60 days after formal publication in the Federal Register, with a final compliance deadline of 240 days after publication, except for certain requirements that must be complied with by February 16, 2026. Please find Brach Eichler's in-depth alert to this topic at bracheichler.com, link in show notes. Article title, OCR creates FAQ webpage in response to Change Healthcare Cyberattack. On April 19, 2024, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Office for Civil Rights, OCR, posted a new webpage containing frequently asked questions, FAQs, concerning HIPAA and the Change Healthcare cybersecurity incident. The FAQs, in part, addressed the fact that on March 13, 2024, the OCR published a Dear Colleague letter advising that the OCR was aware of the Change Healthcare cybersecurity incident that occurred in late February 2024 that is disrupting healthcare and billing information systems nationwide. Some of the FAQs covered include: why did OCR issue the March 13, 2024 Dear Colleague letter? Why is OCR initiating an investigation and what does it cover? Has OCR received breach reports from Change Healthcare, UHG, or any affected healthcare providers? Are covered entities that are affected by the cyberattack involving Change Healthcare and UHG required to file breach notifications? What HIPAA breach notification duties do covered entities have with respect to the Change Healthcare cyberattack? What HIPAA breach notification duties do business associates have with respect to the Change Healthcare cyberattack? Article title, Personal Information Was Breached in Change Healthcare Cyberattack. On April 22, 2024, United Health Group issued a press release announcing that, based on initial targeted data sampling to date, the company has found files containing protected health information, PHI, or personally identifiable information, PII, which could cover a substantial proportion of people in America. To date, the company has not seen evidence of exfiltration of materials such as doctors' charts or full medical histories among the data. Although United Health states that Change Healthcare has made continued strong progress restoring services impacted by the event, the far-reaching consequences of the event are still unfolding. The company set up a dedicated support website to provide support for people concerned about their personal data due to the attack, as well as a call center hotline number 1-866-262-5342. Article title, Dozens of Class Action Lawsuits Against Change Healthcare. Dozens of class action lawsuits have been filed in different districts around the United States against Change Healthcare relating to the cyber attack announced by the company in late February 2024. On April 3, 2024, Change Healthcare filed a motion seeking to consolidate the cases to its hometown district, the United States District Court for the Middle District of Tennessee. While some of these class actions were filed by providers affected by the disruption to payments for medical services rendered, others were filed by individuals alleging the company did not have sufficient cybersecurity measures in place to prevent the data breach, allowing threat actors to potentially expose sensitive health and personal information. The filing of additional lawsuits is likely as the facts continue to evolve. Article title, Cyber Incident Reporting for Critical Infrastructure Act, CIRCIA Proposed Regulations. On April 4, 2024, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security published a proposed rule to implement the Cyber Incident Reporting for Critical Infrastructure Act of 2022, CIRCIA. CIRCIA requires any critical infrastructure company, a covered entity under the statute, to report to the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, within certain prescribed timeframes, any substantial cyber incident, a covered event, ransom payment made in response to a ransomware attack, and any substantial new or different information discovered related to a previously submitted report. CIRCIA estimates that the proposed rule will apply to approximately 316,000 covered entities, whom are in one of 16 enumerated critical infrastructure sectors and either 1. Do not qualify as a small business as defined by the Small Business Administration, or 2. Meet a sector-based criterion. According to CIRCIA, under the Healthcare and Public Health HPH sector-specific plan, the HPH sector is large, diverse, and open, spanning both the public and private sectors. It includes publicly accessible healthcare facilities, research centers, suppliers, manufacturers, and other physical assets, and vast, complex public-private information technology systems required for care delivery and to support the rapid, secure transmission and storage of large amounts of HPH data. Links to CIRCIA's summary of the rule proposal and critical infrastructure sector information may be found at bracheichler.com. Link in show notes. Article title: OCR publishes updated guidance on the use of online tracking technologies. On March 18, 2024, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Office for Civil Rights, published updated guidance regarding the use of online tracking technologies by HIPAA-covered entities and business associates. In short, regulated entities are not permitted to use tracking technologies in a manner that would result in impermissible disclosures of PHI to tracking technology vendors or any other violations of the HIPAA rules. For example, disclosures of PHI to tracking technology vendors for marketing purposes without individuals' HIPAA-compliant authorizations would constitute impermissible disclosures under HIPAA. With the proliferation of tracking technologies and tracking technology vendors, and the OCR's increasing attention to the use of such technologies and vendors in the healthcare sector, HIPAA-covered entities and their business associates should take heed and examine how their websites and mobile apps are actually functioning and make appropriate changes to ensure HIPAA compliance. Article title: Proposed American Privacy Rights Act. On April 7, 2024, the U.S. Senate Committee on Commerce, Science, and Transportation issued a press release about the proposed American Privacy Rights Act. This comprehensive draft legislation sets clear national data privacy rights and protections for Americans, eliminates the existing patchwork of state comprehensive data privacy laws, and establishes robust enforcement mechanisms to hold violators accountable, including a private right of action for individuals. In short summary, the proposed law, 1. Establishes foundational uniform national data privacy rights for Americans. 2. Gives Americans the ability to enforce their data rights. 3. Protects Americans' civil rights. 4. Holds companies accountable and establishes strong data security obligations. And 5. Focuses on the business of data, not Main Street business. Under the bill, covered data is information that identifies or is linked or reasonably linkable, alone or in combination with other information, to an individual or a device that identifies or is linked or reasonably linkable to one or more individuals residing in the U.S. Sensitive covered data includes, among other data, government identifiers. A covered entity under the bill is any entity that determines the purpose and means of collecting, processing, retaining, or transferring covered data and is subject to the FTC Act, including common carriers and certain nonprofits. For additional information or for assistance with your organization's privacy and security program, contact Lani M. Dornfeld, Esquire CHPC, member, Healthcare Law Practice at ldornfeld at bracheichler.com or 973-403-3136. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. If you want to stay updated on the latest legal insights, don't forget to subscribe to our podcast. By subscribing, you'll never miss an episode and will be the first to receive our analysis of the most pressing legal issues. You can find us on all popular podcasting platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. While you're there, please leave us a review to help others discover our show. Thank you for listening, and for more information, please visit bracheichler.com. This podcast is intended to provide general information, not legal advice. Please contact the authors if you need specific legal advice. Brach Eichler LLC is a full-service law firm based in Roseland, New Jersey, with over 80 attorneys. The firm is focused on the following practice areas: healthcare law, real estate litigation, trust and estates, business transactions and financial services, personal injury, criminal defense and government investigations, labor and employment, environmental and land use, family law services, patent, intellectual property and information technology, real estate tax appeals, tax, and cannabis law.